Hello YouTube viewers. Oh, and I forgot to make a Twitter announcement, which I need to. So I'm going to be doing this right away. Oops.
You can swim there.
Hey, how do you feel? You enjoy the sun?
Yeah. So when you get on the beach, you can see the monkey.
Yeah, it's a bit cold actually behind. There's a lot of wind. It blocks more wind, right? Yeah.
So it looks like I'm going to get my feet wet.
Okay, welcome to the Monkey Island, everyone. So now we'll stop here in 40 minutes before we go back to harbor. And if you want to get on the island, please swim from here to the island. So when you get on the island, maybe the monkey will come to the beach because they think you bring some food for
I'm
them.
not swimming.
You have to swim to get there?
Sorry?
You have to swim to get there?
No, if you want, you can swim.
You don't have to.
But something. But if the police come, please swim back to the boat because they will charge you some money.
So you're not allowed to swim. We're not allowed on the beach.
Yes.
Okay.
But okay now.
So we have shrimping boats. And we have jokes. So far we don't have monkeys, but we're ever so hopeful.
That's like a tour boat. Just pop through the gates to the park. And if you see the police, just run back.
That was 30 US this year.
Okay. Let's. Hi, Cosmic Rose. How are you? Thank you so much for retweeting this. So we've just arrived. It's not clear. I don't see anybody on the beach, and I don't know if he was joking or not. We have to swim to the island, and he kind of said if they see us, the monkeys that is, they're used to people feeding them, so they might come. I made some promises. I'm hoping to be able to show some monkeys today. Don't know if I'm going to fulfill the promise, but I'm giving it a good try. The fact that we're creeping ever so closer to the beach is a good sign. But I'm just not going to dive in the water. I don't like cold water. But this is considered and called Monkey Island. So you see there's an eagle hovering about. I assume there's a couple of eagles actually. So maybe they know it's this time of day when the monkeys start emerging. Oh, there are 3 eagles now. Yes, that's true. There are humans with a monkey mind. I don't think there are any of them on this boat though. It's just the luck of the draw. It's funny, but way in the horizon, you see there's this cargo boat right there in between the 2 rocks. So that's the extent of our zoom. So we can only do so much from here on the boat. But we are kind of creeping closer and closer. I'm hoping that there'll be like a type of a little boat or something which could come out and greet us. That would be nice. Oh, I see some movement at that yellow house on the one on the right, but maybe it's a mirage or something. So how you been? I haven't been able to. I haven't had time to click on the links that you left me regarding Rob and what Rob is highlighting as important things. But it's on my to-do list, and we're running out of time. But the good thing is that every day that I've been doing things, they seem to be getting better and better. Like today really surpassed, and I made up for some of the disappointments of the cruise that I had the other day. And even though there were some highlight things about the cruise, there were some significant disappointments. So today completely erased that. Good zoom. What's the X-Power equivalent in that? I'm not sure, because I'm kind of still new to the YouTube. It's pinch and zoom. On Heckle, actually, the zoom is even more extreme, but you really have to hold the camera still because it's a digital zoom. So you can only really get away with so much. But here it's pretty reasonable, considering. So I guess it's unfortunate that they have these houses built in where they moor the boats, because I would prefer to see just monkeys on a beach as opposed to seeing these kind of dilapidated buildings. But yeah, so this is the pinch and zoom I can do on the house. You see, that's the extent of it, and you got to keep the camera really steady. And there's a weird thing, it doesn't immediately respond to like the pinch back, so I need more practice with it, but that'll come with time. So you guys are lucky. By the way, how is the signal? Because depending on where we are, we kind of go into no signal zones, because sometimes these little rock outcroppings have a way of blocking signal. So I'm hopeful. The zoom is great for optical extraction. Well, thank you for your technical expertise there in terms of the language you're using. Signal is fine. I'm glad to hear that, because I know whenever I had this particular mic, it tends to never be an issue as far as the audio goes, and then all I need to rely on is how is the signal. So when you say it's good, hey, that's better than meh, So yeah, let me show you some of the people on our boat today. And there are people up there, and there's the bar, and we came from there. I don't know what that array is. I'm not sure what that is. That's a shrimping boat, I think. So the sun is starting to. The sun's still quite high up. I don't want to kill the camera as such, but from my experience, monkeys tend to come out at dusk. Maybe because they just find it too hot and they prefer to be in the shade. So, and also maybe they're used to the boats coming. Maybe they do something to help the tourists along, by, I don't know, artificially creating a situation. But if monkeys are acclimatized, like they know at certain times of day there might be a feeding, you would expect they'll come regardless of whether they get fed or not. So we shall see what happens. You love your 50 millimeter f1.4 plus 2-2x converters that give me equivalent of 2K millimeters. All right, Cosmic Rose. I had no idea you were a photo geek. So whenever I have like I have to cede to like the photo geek in the room as, like who can settle this question or who can answer me this, I'll know who to call. Heck, they nap until the food arrives. Yes, monkeys have a funny reputation, but they've surprised me here in Vietnam when I was here in 2020. They were just so well behaved. I just didn't anticipate that. And then I guess I learned my lesson is not to judge books by their cover or by their reputations. Just let them behave and see what happens. So yes, the daughter of a friend from Arizona expressed interest like a couple of weeks ago whether or not we were going to be seeing monkeys at some point. So I gave them enough fair warning at least 3 or 4 hours ago that look out for the notifications because there might be monkeys. And the thing is that we're only due to return by 5 p.m. and it's only 10 after 4, so there might be time. Oh, we're having snacks. Oh look, would you like some watermelon? Heck, they nap until the food arrives. Well, it looks like the food arrived. Is this for us or the monkeys? How nice. Here, monkey, monkey, monkey. Here, monkey. Come and get it. I could use a slingshot right now. Maybe they can hear the sound of chewing. That'll get a Pavlovian response. You go, nom, 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 nom. So I wonder how close they can get before it's too late or too close. I see a buoy over by there. That might be a marker. And the wind is picking up. Luckily, I brought enough clothing. This time, yeah, like the last time. Oh, by the way, no, that meal was such a disappointment. It was the most disappointing meal of my entire time here in Southeast Asia. It wasn't a pizza margherita. It was cardboard and some kind of like sweetened tomatoey sauce and lots of cheese. Hardly any basil. Really, it was crime. It was a crime. And I think the chicken that was used in my chicken lemongrass stir fry was probably really old frozen chicken, and then they just sliced it up and then stir fried it with a lot of lemongrass flavor. It was just, but you know what? Last night's dinner made up for it. I had a spaghetti carbonara with bacon and some summer rolls and some green mango salad with trying to think of what I ordered to drink, but it made up for it. The spaghetti carbonara was, oh, it was really good. And right next door they actually have an Italian pizzeria, and I just might go there to risk it. You never know. I might actually get an actual pizza. I could go for one. Okay, where are the little tykes? Where are the little monsters? So we had like an amazing sunny day today. I did not put on any sunblock, so hopefully I haven't gotten like totally burnt. We'll see towards the end of the day, and if not, I'll hydrate. I used to have a trick. I heard at some point that if you take aspirin within a certain amount of hours that you've been exposed or overexposed to sun, the aspirin has a way of blocking the histamine response to the fact that you got burnt, and it's a blocker of some kind, and then your system doesn't like freak out and then go into that overkill thing, and that's what causes like the burn as such. I'm not sure if it worked or not, but I know that I used to like regularly take an aspirin every 3 hours over a course of like a day and a half, in order just in case, and seems like it seemed to work. I haven't tried it recently, but the thing is that they tell you, be careful if you overdose on aspirin. You could get like a brain bleed because it's a blood thinner. So there's that. And in fact, I did have a friend who, she had a brain aneurysm because she was having a bad headache, but she wasn't taking aspirin as such. She was taking an aspirin type. Burn is not the same thing as an allergic response. Okay, maybe you're also in the health, so maybe I'm talking out of my what, but it was something that I think I might have looked into more than a decade ago. You also worked in dermatology, okay, for 9 years. Okay, so I'm going to cede to you in the room, but as far as I know, aspirin had certain properties to quell this response to getting overexposed to UV. Is how I kind of understood. There's a certain kind of catalyst or mechanism that undergoes in the first 48 hours of extreme sun exposure, UV exposure, and aspirin had a way of tamping down. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't have any aspirin, so I can't even go into that. So you don't need to give me any advices. Don't do it. You're wrong. You don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I sadly lost a good friend, and I didn't even know she had passed away. It took like a decade of not hearing from her when I contacted a mutual friend, and I said, by the way, have you heard from? And that's how I got the news that she had passed away. She was doing a photo shoot in a sports arena, and she had complained of having a bad headache that day, and she had taken too many, and it caused a brain aneurysm, and she died. It's weird. It might not help the injury. Oh yeah, it's the inflammation. I see. Well, that's what I thought it did. It actually quelled the inflammation, because inflammation is the thing that gets you. It's what ages you and causes all kinds of stuff. So if you can quash the inflammation, you're ahead of the curve. But maybe I'm thinking wrong based on what it might kills the pain but not calm the inflammation. Yeah, I thought it calmed the inflammation. So maybe somebody was claiming, but they didn't have any proof. What are you saying? Oh, sometimes you never know if you're being spoken to or barked at or something to that effect. Let's get back to Monkey Mountain, or Island, sorry. Monkey Mountain is in Da Nang. Monkey Island is here near the Cat Ba Island in the Halong Bay general area. Okay, so we do have monkeys. I hear them somewhere. They're close. So yes, in North America, it is 3:15 in the morning in Miami, New York City, Montreal, and in Toronto. So only night owls are up at this hour. Best is prevention. For your years of outdoor nature photography, you learn to wear long sleeves and wide brim hat. You know what women do in Vietnam is they have long sleeves and completely, it almost looks like a burqa. It almost looks like a Muslim thing where you're completely covered. But they do it when they're on their motorbikes. So it means that they, like when they're idling at a stop sign, the sun doesn't like darken their skin, because having darker skin is like a beauty, a no-go. Women really favor having lighter complexions here in Asia, and it's a thing. So they have this interesting kind of like they're completely covered, but their face is a little more exposed. It's not like little burqa windows where you're looking through a mesh or something. But yes, women are smart. There you are. All right, so far, no monkeys. And it looks like people are aligning themselves laterally to the shore. So maybe something like there's this particular hour where they get fed and then they come a running. You know, like a Pavlovian bell. You walked right into that one. Yes. Yes, I did. And I'm okay. I'll survive. Because why would they be getting closer and closer to the shore if there wasn't going to be a payoff? You see what I'm going with this? Oh, somebody dropped their phone. Well, it wasn't me. Good luck. I love this free base diving. So, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, how deep is it?
No goggles. How? Get some at the store. That's funny. Oh well. Somebody walked into that one. Twasn't me. So I'm hoping that the closer we get to the shore, it will not kill our signal, because we are kind of still out in the open.
My phone's right there for a reason.
So, yes.
I did that before. I had a buddy.
So it's still early and I might drop my phone after all, but
Some guy
I hope not.
released an album, and the genre was
I still haven't lost anything significant while I've been on holiday here. The phone sunk to the bottom. Yes, that's why he needs goggles, and I think they said they was 7 meters deep where he's at. So that's not too bad. But you need visibility. And now that we're drifting, he'll gonna have to like geoposition himself, because he can't. He has to go like underneath the boat and then quite a distance away. So the longer he waits, the more we're being displaced. I guess that's what insurance is for. Although I don't buy travel insurance for that. I only get the medical. And the thing is that I have the phone that I'm on now. I think I can afford to lose because it's kind of it's come to its its usefulness. I have a better camera on another phone, but I don't have a proper mic for it yet.
Where did it drop?
Oh.
Where did it drop?
It's not that deep though. He said he can touch the bottom really easily. I think the issue is more so visibility.
And he's moved, so it's not really where he's at. It's somewhere behind us.
You have fun with that.
So maybe activate Find My Phone. Your dad used to say, mark an X on the water. Is that how it works? So we are drifting slightly closer, but I see no activity. And then again, the sun is still somewhat visible at this hour. Or maybe it's just a question of how close the boat gets. Like the moment it gets within a certain distance, maybe they will come, thinking we're going to come and feed them. But monkeys are pretty smart. So if you see the rock formations, you see the diagonals. So obviously those diagonals were level at one point in their history, and they got pushed up by plate tectonics. On the floor you hear, yes, I would think. Well, I like tenaciousness, don't give up. That's a motto that I have kept when I've lost a drone, and I haven't given up, and I've found it every time. But never in water though. I've always lost things on land. But yeah, the whole history of all of this is right there in these in the layers of the sediments. So when you say poor signal reception on the floor, you're not talking about like actual poor signal that we might be having because we're getting closer to the island. Yes, we have lots of vertical striations in our mountains here in the Sierra Nevada mountains. I didn't know where you were. 2, aka Yosemite Valley. All right, that's Cali. Is it California or is it one of the neighboring states? Oh, it's Nevada. So that would be Nevada.
I definitely think it's closer from here.
So I guess the Sierra Mountains straddles both California, Nevada, maybe some other part. It's towards the end of the day, and I'm a little
You
bit,
can reach the bottom, you just can't find the
you know, I've had a lot of sun exposure, and that tends to kind of tire one out a little bit. But a good meal will set me right. No signal for Find My Phone on. Oh yes, no. I know what you were referring to, but I was, because we were talking about signal earlier, and you were saying it was good. I was worried that, yes, California. I was worried that maybe we were getting a degrading signal the closer we got to this particular island. Come on, monkeys. Come on. Don't make me a liar. I hate to overpromise and underdeliver. Where are you, you little tykes? So he really is, but he's in the wrong place. Like, we have moved so much closer to the shore, and he's remained the same distance to the boat. So it's not like the phone was tethered to a string or anything. So he's probably, 50 yards off the mark, if that, maybe even more. But I don't want to say anything because I don't want him to actually, I'm not sure. It's interesting. What would they eat there? Because there are no fruit trees. It all seems like very naturally pollinated. Particular types of tree that I guess were well suited, and it's funny how this one over here is very arid and and this one's really lush. So maybe they're just eating particular leaves, and who knows how they got there. Maybe they were dumped and then they just took root. So yeah, having like a t-shirt launcher, but you could like launch a banana from the boat or something, wouldn't probably be a bad idea. So maybe this is also like a research center.
Wait, so what are you doing? Split it up?
Come on, monkeys.
Dead fucking center of the ship. Yeah, we were on the top. Dead center. I had my tucked my life vest and I'm on the kayak. I'm like,
That is brilliant.
Well, it looks like some of us are going to swim. Maybe, well, actually, we were told if we wanted to go on the island, you had to swim to it. And I guess they weren't kidding. But it's not going to be me today, that's for sure. I have decided it's just too cold for my liking.
50 gigs or 5 gigs.
put it on Facebook and then you download it. No, I had an external hard drive that just sat in a drawer for a couple years, right? And like, so I loaded all my fucking Thailand and Bali pics to it, and had like all my music like 2008 forward, like everything I downloaded illegally, and like from like when I was a teenager, and so it's just like. I set it in a drawer for a couple years, and I left it back out, and it's like, oh, I need to get something off of it. It just stopped working. I mean, like, it just sat there. It was like the drawer was open on a regular basis. It just sat there, and then it just stopped working. So I lost it. It was like, yeah, okay, I lost all my illegally downloaded shit. No big deal. But, like, I lost my Thailand and Bali photos. It sucks. I'm like, cut them down like I've got one from Croatia.
So let's pan out.
It's like you can see like the letters that really
Do we see anything? Not yet. Not that I could tell. Not from here.
It's one of those 1 out of every 1,000 looks good.
Is that right? So you're talking about an Android phone, not a an iPhone. And you're helping people? Because the update broke some things. Seem to recall you were telling me you don't have an iPhone anymore.
Dude, I don't know what's real right now. So fuck yourself. Alright.
So yeah, I'm looking in the shady part over there. I don't see any movement either.
It's like one of those, like, you just got lucky. You just got lucky. I don't know how to fucking frame a photo. I don't know fucking know. It's just phone. But, like, that's one of those ones that, like, would be worth having printed.
Is that the water in the sky?
Yeah. It was just the reflection, like, it was just that still that day. It was Plitvice Lakes in Croatia.
I definitely think it's under the boat.
It's just like super hot. Yeah, it's just weird. It's a really pretty spot. That was a national park over there. It's,
Like, has
hanging out still, man. There's never been caught. I had
Still be one pair.
gracious ones. Yeah.
So I have a tiny little foam thing on my microphone, and there's a breeze, like a gentle breeze. Not even ASOP, AOSP I mean, not even Lineage OS, but a new custom OS for the phone, where basically all beta users I see, okay, so whenever something's new, it will break things until bugs are dealt with, and you need a lot of users in order to discover them all, and then to see if you can replicate it on you know, similar phones. Yeah. Well, I guess there must be advantages for having particular phones that behave a particular way, and then you have certain like expectations and guarantees. For me, I guess I just my first cell phone was an Android. It was a 4.1, and then I graduated to my 6S Plus. And I've been, because prior to the 6S Plus, I had iPads and one iPod, and so yeah, I've gone Apple pretty well. But I still own a couple of PC laptops. All of my other PC desktops have gone obsolete.
Hello. We have to get on the boat and I would like to have a
Oh, we're going back to, but we were promised monkeys.
the way on the boat.
Yeah, it's there.
We were promised monkeys. So now he's telling that she has to get on the boat. Bummer. You had an iPhone 3 and 4S. The 4S died last March, and when 3G died here. I see. Well, certain parts of the world have 5G now. When I was in Taiwan, I believe there were people I knew that actually had 5G on their phone. I had 4G, and that was more than enough.
Come over.
I'm just,
Around, do you know?
Pardon?
Did they come around yet?
Yeah, she went in the back because she was told to get on board because they were going to leave as soon as they get on board. I don't know where he went. He might have gone around the other side.
Yeah, maybe. Too bad about the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer.
I want to go back. But I'd like to spend some more time, like maybe like rent a fucking like caravan or something, just tour around Scotland for a week or two. What's that?
Come on, monkeys.
Yeah.
As many deaf versions.
Yeah, see, I figured I'd just rent a caravan and fucking do it that way, so we don't have to fucking worry about camping and all that shit. Because we don't really do it all. I don't mind camping. It's just I hate setting up a tent and having to wear back down. And, like,
Birdie num nums. Come on.
I don't really care if it's like day out, if it rains and like the fucking thing gets soggy. And, so just rent a caravan, but like.
Should have brought some marshmallows or something. I think we should have brought a little catapult. 5G is actually BS. They call it that, but it's simply grabbing different frequencies and grouping them for more coverage. It's not real 5G.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So only buy me for drink. Yeah, if you have.
Oh, so the bartender is making business for himself. They took away my last drink and it wasn't completely finished. So now I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to order from you. I don't like that when you absent yourself to go to another deck just to get something, and when you come back, your tumbler is gone.
What are you? Just for the drinks?
We are drifting ever so closer,
Tour as well.
but I see no movement whatsoever.
Okay. Sure. We went. I'm pretty sure we fucking went.
And I don't think anybody's invested in seeing monkeys except myself and some of the people who have asked, will we be seeing any? So I saw, actually there was a monkey sighting earlier today, but my camera wasn't on and I was in a kayak. So, and I wasn't oriented in the proper direction. So I think this is So Long Monkey Mountain. Last chance, monkeys. Oh well, we gave it a good try.
What chaps my ass is the fucking ATM will only give me 3 million dollars. I'm like, just give me 10 million. I'm fucking sick of this shit. Like, I can't keep paying these fucking fees. Just give me a fucking stack.
Yeah, that's an issue with ATMs in certain parts. Like when I was in the airport, I was surprised that I was able to make a withdrawal and they did not charge. You hated that when you photographed weddings, no matter how big my do not touch sign over my plate, they always trashed my food. Or when they got up to work and hello, make images. Oh, so yeah, you were saying like you almost need like a lock and a cloche over your food, right? With like a combo lock or something. To make it like totally obvious. So I guess you never, if you're working on a wedding, you just don't get fed. Because there are people that are just, you know. Well, you have, I'm getting to find out a lot of things. I did not know you were a photographer as well. So I'm going to try and orient myself. Actually, this way is probably better for the lighting and the resolution, as somebody who I think was from Germany would call it, resolution. And you get better contrast. There we go. Let's zoom in on that little boat there. Yeah, I'm not into a drink. Thank you. Learn to eat first and then bring protein bars. Yes, that's the thing about, you know, sometimes when you're in a good eatery, like while I'm traveling, I learned, you know, just don't satisfy yourself with what you have. Have something to bring with, because you never know if you're going to be in a situation where you might get delayed or something to that effect, and you've got like a plan B in case your dinner plans get, you know, thrown, or your breakfast plans get thrown, or your breakfast options are really like, so you say, I'm having something that will keep until the next day. That's what I did last night with my green mango salad. I couldn't eat it because I was full, so I had them put it in a takeaway, and I had it before I had my breakfast this morning because I thought I had to rush out by 7. Turned out that my call was at 8. So then I returned and had a full omelet breakfast with toast and noodles and coffee and all that other stuff. But I got my good start with my yesterday's green mango salad, which kept really well, you know, in the vinaigrette and whatnot overnight. So yeah, you know, I'm so glad that we have this kind of atmosphere today, because the day before yesterday and yesterday there was something of a haze that you could not escape in what is called Halong Bay proper. And here today, the haze is really like maybe 10% haze compared to like a good 40% haze. So it makes the world a difference when you can actually photograph things. So let's see if I can. Here. There we go. This is interesting. Look at that. And the angle is great. Oh, we're getting a bit of a, we're turning and it's getting a bit of a sun flare, but that might actually make an interesting footage. Yeah, I've got nothing of it. Like, maybe in that post, you know, you can maybe fix stuff. But I got no little clip-ons or things of that nature. I just have making, you know, the iPhone is just doing what it does, and I'm lucky to get even this much. Although I like how well my GoPro performs in low lighting, because I did some caving. And the GoPro did pretty well. Also, my iPhone 13 did pretty well in low lighting conditions. We can smell fish. I can smell like the shore. But there are a lot of different types of fragrances and things that waft here. And you know what? I have not seen any kind of visible garbage or litter here, like floating or whatever. And I'm not sure why, because I've seen some reviews, and like some people are really negative with reviews, especially about Cat Ba Island. And I was just like looking into it literally the same day that I had booked a place to stay, and I said, okay, well, I'm decided I'm going to go and stay there for a couple of days. And the negative reviews that I saw were very depressing. And my experience from having arrived on the island to up to now is nothing compared to what those reviews were saying. So I don't know if it's because they were outdated, like, you know, from 3 years ago, or if there's just like a lot of negative Nancys that just kind of are really like, you know, their expectations are just out of whack. But I haven't seen any garbage on the waters or on the shorelines. So obviously there's maintenance. I mean, all of these people here, they produce garbage, right? So where is it? They're obviously, there's like a sort of a concerted effort to keep these things, you know, these areas pristine looking. Your favorite filter was a 3X neutral density. I do have some ND filters, but I have an old JVC Handycam that had some ND filters. I'm trying to think. No, there are some for my drone. I can have some clip-ons for my drone, but I just haven't used my drone enough. Look at those little potted plants. And look at the dog getting the sun, getting warmed in the sun. Hey, look, he's like a good dog. You look like a good dog. Yes, you are. And I like how they just have their little potted plants, little potted trees there. So this is a nice angle at this kind of time of day, where the sun isn't like oriented into my lens, and I'm able to pull up these colors and get some contrast. It's a 3-dog family. Oh, it's a fish farm. Okay, so she's feeding fish to something. I'm not sure what they're farming, but it looks pretty cool. Backlighting, thank you. Yeah, I like the backlighting. Look at how those blues pop. And then it makes the water, because the water is green here. It is green.
She wasn't wearing a seatbelt?
I'm so glad that I'm catching this footage, because we didn't come by here in the morning. We didn't get this close. We only saw parts from the distance, so I'm not even using the zoom, and it's pretty good. Like, we could use the zoom. Okay. Yes, I love the fact that it's warming my back. Well, it's actually on my left shoulder now at the moment, because I think we're just kind of doing a turn, and actually it's going to come into the frame. But that's okay. Croppings are, you know, you have to go where it permits you to go, and if you have to zigzag your way, then so be it.
Naked Attraction is literally a dating show in reverse. Yeah, literally, like say a girl, she'll have five different options. First like level.
I'm still learning how to use it.
I'm saying, so then,
Oh, the type of lighting. Yeah, backlighting. Okay. Thank you.
every round. Yeah, that she was.
Yeah, you know, there are things that I should know by now that maybe I just never bothered to properly file away. And I might have known, like, I remember in 7th grade, I joined the photography club, and that's where I was taking black and white photos and, you know, had a loaner camera and developing and printing my own shots. And there's, you know, all of the technical, and then there are things that, like, the selective memory, where things that you just, you know, aperture and depth of field and all of that. But other things, you just either you go out of, you know, it gets out of your consciousness because you put photography aside for a while. and you have to relearn certain things. So I'm kind of like that, where I'm okay about relearning things. I don't need to pretend I know stuff that I might have known. You know, I did at one time, and then now I don't. But that's okay, because I still have the capacity to learn. Oh, look, and they have netting there. I saw some people repairing a net in Da Nang in one of those little, like, half coconut boats. And the half coconut boats came into being because when the French occupation was here, they were always trying to figure out ways to tax.
Please buy me for drink.
No, I'm not buying another drink. You develop black and white before you learn manually print from transparency film with your own processor. You print it from your color transparencies. Yeah, wasn't there like a special gadget or gizmo where you could, you had, you know, from slides, you can make your own prints? I'm sure it's like a vague thing, I remember. Because when you say color transparencies, are you talking about color negatives, or are you talking about converting slides into... So because the sun is going down, the breeze is actually chilling me, and I'm thinking, oh, my sweater, my sweatshirt is downstairs, but every time I go downstairs, something goes missing. So. Oh, free, ready to pay. Okay, now they want us to go downstairs to settle up. Interesting. My name is on a book, and I was like a modest drinker today, so I don't have to rush. I don't have to rush. Tsunami. So I like these little boats here, these little family boats. They have so much character. Well, they're the closest thing to junks. Like, I love Chinese junk boats, the old style that are still around.
Michael.
Yes?
Michael.
Yes?
Sorry.
Actually, that's not my name, but I figured it. It's Mitchell.
Smell.
Not a gizmo. A slide film is called a transparency.
Carolina. Ketamine.
Okay, and a film aka by brand would be a Kodak. Kodachrome is transparency, opposite of negative film. I see. I used to photograph with E6 in a commercial photography studio. We had E6, so I can't remember how big they were, but we were photographing for print, so that we were photographing things that would set up in a studio, and I would do the lighting, and I would be told, okay, add some diffuser and close the barn doors and put a shadow on that, and then we would fire off an E6, or sometimes we would use a Polaroid to see if there were any hot spots, and then make lighting corrections, and then sometimes we would fire an E6 and run it over to get it developed, and then it would come back, and then it might get approved, and then we would tear down the shot. And yeah, I did that for about a year, but I forgot a lot about the technical stuff. So I think, because we're coming into port, that I'm going to scope down, or whatever the term is for YouTube. But I want to thank you for coming in and keeping me company, and hopefully you know, tomorrow when I'm in Hanoi, it'll still be ongoing. I do have that that restaurant where Anthony and Obama went to go to. Yes, I went to a commercial photography school, and you have your own 5x4 large format camera. All right, yeah, that's the size of an E6, right? Yeah. So I'm being asked to settle up. So I think I'm going to close in on this, and we're going to see you soon. Alrighty, thanks for coming in.